All right, hey guys, how you doing? It's the Honeydew Carpenter and the always beautiful Mrs. Honeydew Carpenter. This is our Saturday morning live show. We're gonna keep it short today and quick, but I have something really cool to announce to you guys. Um, Mrs. Honeydew came up with a phenomenal idea. Okay, and so I immediately had to take her idea and do something with it. As you all know, I developed the foam-mate, which can take a gallon of water and soap solution and expand it to like 45, 50 gallons of foam. And um, we were walking through Sam's parking lot doing something, and Mrs. Honeydew had a thought, and she kept it to herself. But that night she could not sleep. She saw this row of like 100 shopping carts. And in the morning, she actually had to get up at like 2 or 3 in the morning and write the idea down so that she could sleep. And I'm like, that's what I do. That's So in the morning she tells me her idea. She's like, why couldn't you just take that whole row of carts and spray it down with a foam mate and get all this expanding foam around every nook and cranny of these shopping carts, and then just rinse it off after it sits for a minute or so. And what we've learned about these viruses and how they're transmitted and move from person to person and whatnot, they have a fatty protein layer around these nanoparticles that are these viruses, and all it takes is soap and water to break that fatty layer down, and once they're exposed to the elements, they're dead. And so the soap doesn't necessarily kill them, the soap breaks down the layer that protects the virus around it and then kills it. And so what I did, guys, and so this is critical. If you don't have a foam mate and you want one, you better order it this weekend and get it coming, because the demand for them after this video comes out is going to be so high. It's going to be crazy, guys, because I developed another end accessory to the foam mate that not only does it expand that gallon of water into 45, 50 gallons of foam, now I can break it down into small particles that spray out. I can literally coat the entire deck behind Grandma and Grandpa's house in like 30 seconds to 1 minute with foam. Just a thin layer of foam. You can let it sit for a minute, spray it off, and your deck is sanitized. Now, as we move forward and as we transition back from being in lockdown into normal life and whatnot, we all have this heightened sense and understanding and education about these viruses and how they work and different mitigating measures that we can take to protect ourselves. Well, your playground equipment, you may have a swing set with your kids out behind your house, and the neighbor kids come over and one of them has the sniffles or whatnot. Now you have a way you can just go out and just spray down your slide and your playground equipment or your trampoline, let it sit for a minute, rinse it off, and you're good to go. And so it's an awesome idea. I did a lot of research. I looked at the CDC's website on soap and water and its effect on the virus. And I mean, something's in. What is it? The consensus is in. Soap and water is a good, effective way to treat these things. And I mean, how many times have we come home and the neighbor kids have been playing on our trampoline or something, and we weren't even there. They just decided to use our play set or whatever. Yeah, you can go ahead now. So if you have an air compressor, you need to get a foam mate as an accessory to it. A lot of people have tons of tool accessories to their compressor, staple guns, nail guns, whatever they use it for. Yeah, now you can get a foam mate. And so next week, every foam mate and wand that goes out is going to have another spray accessory to it that breaks that dense foam down into smaller particles and lays it down so that you can just put it down on a huge area at once. And so the video hasn't even come out. Nobody's seen it. You guys are the Insider Club. You're kind of an elite group of people that watch us and join us on these Saturday live shows. And you are unique. You understand creativity, and you like creativity, and you like people who are problem solvers and look at a situation and come up with creative ways to solve it. And Mrs. Honeydew is incredible. I wish I could say the idea was mine, but it wasn't. It was hers. But coming up with a way to actually make it work and lay down foam in a spray and break that, 45, 50 gallons of foam down into something smaller particles. No, I did that. So, anyways, let's look and see who's on and what's going on.
All right, so Beaver Creek Farm Life, he put our Do Carpenter 1 email up there. He put our Etsy shop link, and he put our Teespring account. So he put a link to our Etsy store. So if you wanted to click on that, it could take you to our Etsy store where you could buy a foam mate now. He also put our Teespring account on there. So if you want a coffee cup or a t-shirt from Do Carpenter, you can go there. And he put our website on there. So you guys can click all those links and check that out. So thank you, Beaver Creek Farm Life. Jeff says, morning guys from Spokane, Washington.
All right, morning, Jeff.
Yeah, good morning, Jeff. William Craig says, hi, everyone, and thumbs up. Hi, William.
Hi, William.
Malber says, yeah, Mrs. Honeydew, ingenious. Aw,
Right.
You're so sweet. Thank you, Malber. Gail says, my buds. Good morning, Gail. Tim says, Tim Stimmers from Muskegon, Michigan. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, let me say something. That first comment about Mrs. Honeydew. Yeah, it's true. As guys, sometimes we get narrow-minded and we think, this is the purpose, this is what we use this for, and that's what it's for. And it takes someone like Mrs. Honeydew to think outside the box to go, hey, it can be used for something else. Right? Okay.
That's what you do all the time, is think outside the box.
Yeah, but I don't know. I didn't think of that one.
All right, Jeff says, this is like 9/11 where nothing will be the same after. Maybe for the better or worse. Only time will tell.
I don't think it's going to be for the worse. I think on the back side of this, guys, we're going to be a healthier country overall. I mean, here we are. We were living with flu seasons and flu viruses right beside us. And we were kind of, as an education level, dumbed down as a society. 50, 60,000 people a year were dying of the flu, and nobody ever said anything about it. We just kind of lived by it. And now, because of the COVID-19 virus, everybody's education level is heightened a little bit about how these viruses transfer and how they and things are going to change a little bit. How we recreate, how we interact, how we work and play together and stuff are going to be a little bit different. But it's on the backside, I think, as a country as a whole, I think the flu virus is going to be tamed down a little bit. I think everything is going to be tamed down, and we're going to be an overall healthier country.
All right, so Devin says, FYI, the heat will break the single wall membrane in the soap, penetrates the membrane, and kills the virus. Hot water or dry heat, 120 degrees.
Right?
Yeah, it doesn't like heat.
No, it does not like heat. And so he's right. So, 120 degrees is pretty hot. That's hot to the touch, And a good portion of the year, that isn't really from solar activity hitting the earth. That's not possible all the time. And so, but what he said about the soap is also true. It breaks the outer wall of the virus, penetrates it, exposes it to the elements, and then it's done. And so...
Alan Ingalls says, good morning from southeast Kansas. Well, good morning, Alan. Donald says, wow, let's soak it in soap. Amazing. That's what I thought, Donald.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. Terry Oak says, good morning from Alaska. Thanks for continuing to think of ways to improve the world for all of humanity.
Oh,
Terry,
thanks, Terry.
thank you. And we're working hard to get that video out so that we can show it being used too. So thank you.
You know what's interesting about Terry Oaks? Guess who was the very first person to order a stucco mate after we offered?
Right, he's awesome.
He's awesome.
Edie Grey Wolf says, good morning from Seattle. Well, good morning. Beaver Creek Farm Life says, good morning all. I hope everyone is healthy, safe, and happy. Thank you.
And how is your sister? I know that she was tested positive for the
She's
virus.
doing a little bit better.
Is she doing a little better?
Yeah, she got some solids and some stuff down.
Okay,
It's awesome. Luann says, hi honeydew, honeys from Southwest Michigan.
Awesome.
Hello Luann. Joel says, howdy from New York. Heather says, hi from Wyoming. Smiley face.
Joel's right in the middle of the hot spot.
Devin says, morning from North Idaho.
Oh,
good morning.
Awesome. I used to live up in North Idaho in the Panhandle, in Post Falls.
Right.
Yeah.
Richard says, I had signed up for your Insiders Club and either missed it or it did not. Yeah, we had a lot of trouble getting Insiders Club up and going. And we did not realize that what we wanted to do would cost like another 10,000 or was it 5,000? How much?
No, it was like 12 grand to set up.
To set up and get going, and we just didn't have the funds to do that. So try to go a different avenue and try and figure something out.
We could have launched it that way, but I felt obligated to protect the privacy of the members, and all those additional protections were just horribly expensive to instate and put in place and then maintain. And so, you know what? We'll do what we can when we can do it.
Everyone that has signed up, like Richard and everything, we're planning on that. We're keeping track of it. You will get what you paid for as soon as we can get everything up and going, okay?
Right.
Donald said, Yellowstone shaking ground again. Yes, they did have some minor quakes there.
Yeah, which is crazy. That's 90 miles north of us. And just last month, we had a 6.3 magnitude earthquake here. And I mean, it shook us pretty good. It shook the porch swing all the way across Grandma and Grandpa's porch. It just...
Right. We do plan on trying to get a video out about that too, man. That's why this is one day at a time, because everything gets away from you so
it does.
fast.
We have so much content, so much video we could put out, but it's just...
Jim says, hello from California. Hello. Jay Thomas says, 2017 to 2018, 64,000 died in the USA alone.
And he's talking about the flu.
The flu virus.
Yeah, from the flu. And, you know, that's absolutely right, and it's absolutely true. And that's something, with our heightened level of education about these viruses and mitigating measures that we can take, that number can be done, come down quite a bit, you know. I mean, I may just be a dumb redneck that works out of the back of a barn, but I think, you know, we can come up with an idea too, collectively. I say we. I'm trying to take a little of the credit here for myself. But we can come up with an idea that could maybe help people take measures.
It's so funny too, because honestly, he can get treated like a dumb redneck too from the back of a barn. Still, it's so crazy to see that. Paul says, all things work out for the good. Aw, thanks, Paul. Mike says, awesome, Erwin and Melanie. You guys make such a great team. Those of us that made our own, can we just buy the fitting?
Yeah. In fact, it takes me about maybe, I don't know, 25 minutes to make one of the in-fitting nozzles. So I'm probably going to have to charge at least $20 for one, $19 or something. But they'll fit in an envelope. They screw right to the end of the foaming nozzle, and so.
All right. So Tim says, I have been following you for some time. I want to make fox rocks. Do you have a solid recipe for that? Ratios. God is still in control. We will come out in a better world.
Yep, we will come out in a better
So
world.
do you have a recipe for fox rocks?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I think fox is a term that describes artificial rocks that people make a paneling for and I don't have a recipe for that. It would be fun to kind of develop one for it though.
It would be. Andy says love, thank you. Paul says it's nice to see that this situation doesn't stop creativity. Our being can't be stopped.
Right?
Right. Thumbs up, people. Melinda, thank you. Hey, all. Thank you, Melinda. Devin says, we felt that 6.3 up in Coeur d'Alene.
Right.
Oh, I bet you did, Devin. Beaver Creek Farm Life says, sister with a perforated ulcer was able to leave hospital sooner than thought. And sister with the with COVID are good and just physically weak, even weak. Graywell says, building immune system with vitamin CDA. Right. It's always good to have some vitamins. Jim says, do you think it would be a good idea to try and make a 60-foot long fence with aircrete? Would you use a pre-formed panels or placed pours?
I personally would do the preformed panels. And basically I would make it similar to those systems that they put on highways as sound barriers. So I would put posts that were kind of shaped like I-beams where you could put them every 6 feet and then have these 6-foot long encased panels with reinforcement in them that you could just slide down between the posts and stack on each other. That's how I would do it. That's how I plan on doing it on our property when I put the perimeter fence all the way around. And so I'm going to have to get a crew for about, a month every day making as many of these panels as we can because, to put a fence around like 5 or 6 acres is going to be fun.
Hello from Germany. Wow. Well, hello back. All right, we're at 17 minutes and we're done with comments. Well, there's just one more. Hi from Ezra. So hello. So what do you want to do? Do you want to go a little bit longer?
Well, no, because we have a lot to get done today. So I said we were going to keep this kind of quick and short today. We're at 18 minutes. We'll call it. We love you guys. Thanks for stopping by.
Have a great day, you guys.
Have a great day.
Stay safe.